Good morning, everyone. I am the discusser for today, and my topic is all about Reason in the Sun. This is a notable place in English and American literature. So, Reason in the Sun by Lawrence Hansberry. So, first, let's talk about the author of this play. Lawrence Hansberry was born in Chicago on May 1930, the youngest of four children. She was a playwright, writer, and activist, the first African American female author to have a play performed on Broadway. She was the daughter of real estate entrepreneur Carl Hansberry and school teacher Nanny Hansberry. So about the work, A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry is a story about a black family's experiences in South Side Chicago in 1950s as they attempt to improve their financial circumstances with an insurance payout following the death of the father. It portrays the Youngers, a working class family, and their conflicting dreams regarding the best use for the $10 life insurance payment they inherit. So the matriarch Mama wants to buy a house to fulfill a dream she shared with her husband, while her son Walter Lee wants to invest in a liquor store. The play examines the effects of racial prejudice on the fulfillment of the family's dreams and speak universally to the desire to improve one's circumstances while disagreeing on the best way of achieving them. So this is the characters of this play. Walter Younger is wants to be rich and devises plans to acquire wealth with his friends, particularly Willie Harris. So Walter Younger, he wants to be rich using the money of the inherit from their father. Then Benita Younger, Mama's daughter and Walter's sister, Benita is an intellectual 20 years old. She attends college and he is better educated than the rest of the Younger family. Then Lena Younger, which is the mother of Walter and Benita Younger, the matriarch of the family. Mama is a religious, moral, and maternal. Ruth Younger, Walter's wife and Travis' mother. Travis Younger, the 10-year-old son of Walter and Ruth Younger. Joseph Asagay, a Nigerian student in love with Benita. Asagay, as he is often called, is very proud of his African heritage, and Benita hopes to learn about her African heritage from her. Then George Murchison, a wealthy African American man who courts Benita. Then Mr. Carl Lindner, the only white character in the play. Then Bobo, one of the Walters' partners in the liquor store plan. Then Willie Harris, a friend of Walter and a coordinator of the liquor store plan. Then Mrs. Johnson, the younger's neighbor. So this is the major events of this play. The arrival of the insurance check. The play begins with the arrival of a $10 life insurance check following the death of the younger's father. So the first event is talk about when they received the $10 insurance check from their father. Then the second event is the family discussion and conflicts. The family members, including Lena, Waterly, Ruth, Benetta, and Travis, discuss their conflicting dreams and plans for the money. Walter Lee wants to invest in a liquor store, while Mama wants to buy a house to fulfill a dream she shared with her husband. So their dreams is conflicting. Then this third event is Mama purchase of a house. Mama decides, which is Lena, uh, mother of Walter, decides to use part of the money to purchase a house in a predominantly white neighborhood, which leads to conflicts and discussions about racial tensions and discriminations. Then, Walter's loss of the money. Walter Lee's friend Willie Harris absconds with the rest of the money, causing a significant crisis within the family. So, when Lena decided to buy the part of the money to buy a house in a neighborhood, then other part of the money is Walters um used to build a liquor store, but sadly the the money abscond with his friend, which is Willie Harris. The arrival of Mr. Lindner. Mr. Lindner, a representative of the Claiborne Park Improvement Associations, visit the Youngers to dissuade them from moving into the predominantly white neighborhood, offering them money to stay away. So, because that Youngers family experience discrimination, so Mr. Lindner offered the Youngers family to move away in those neighborhood. Then the Youngers' decision, despite the challenges they face, the Youngers ultimately decide to move into their new home, symbolizing a new beginning for the family. So after those after their situation, they accept the offer of Mr. Lindner and move away in the neighborhood to start a new life. Then the setting of this play is Chicago South Side in 1950s. Then the POV is primarily third person omniscient. Then the conflict is man versus self and man versus society. Man versus self because Walter Walter feels like no one understands him or his dream, and he feels stuck. He wonders if there is anything to look forward to in his future, and he feels like a failure to his family. Then, man versus society, the younger family is segregated because of their race, and they make a bold move to buy a house in all white neighborhood. Then Carl Ledner, as a representative of the Claiborne Park Association, tries to convince the youngers to find a house in another neighborhood. Then figure of speech is metaphor. The metaphor play uses to create vivid imagery and convey deeper meaning. For example, the title A Raisin in the Sun itself is a metaphor drawn from Langston Hughes' poem Harlem and symbolizes the idea of deeper dreams and the impact of societal barriers on the inspiration of the younger family. Then next is allusion. Allusion is used to reference historical and cultural elements, enriching the text and intensifying the characters and their interactions. Then symbolism. The play employs symbolism to represent abstract ideas and concepts. For examples, Mama, which is Lena, plant symbolizes her nurturing nature and her dream for her family, while Benita, her symbolizes her evolving identity and cultural pride. Then style of the author, she used the dialect of the African American community that is not only distinct but also pure. The characters suspect in their domestic setting and individual style, as Benita and Asagay show their superior and formal education even in everyday conversation, while and while Mama, Mrs. Johnson and Roth demonstrate their crude language. Then the quotable statement of this play, then isn't there something wrong in house in a world where all dreams, good or bad, must depend on the death of a man? And the themes is dreams, race, discrimination, and assimilation, and family. Then the cultural implication is the story A Reason in the Sun by Lauren Hansberry carries significant cultural implication reflecting the social and historical context of the 1950s, addressing themes relevant to the civil rights movement and feminist topics. The play is deeply rooted in the African American experience, portraying the challenges of racial discrimination, segregation, and the pursuit of dignity and pride in the face of societal constraint. Then the implication of the title A Reason in the Sun is a line from the poem Harlem by Langston Hughes, wherein Hughes poses the question, what happens to a dream deferred? The play interrogates these questions thematically throughout. So um that was A Raisin in the Sun by Lawrence Hansberry. So next, let's talk about The Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. So now let's talk about The Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. So this is also the notable place in um, English and American literature. So Arthur Miller was born in New York City on October 17, 1950. He began his career as a playwright while he was a student at the University of Michigan, and several of his early works won prizes. Miller produced his first great success, All My Son, in 1947, and 2 years later he wrote Death of a Salesman, which won the Pulitzer Prize and transformed Miller into a national sensation. So about the work, Arthur Miller's play Death of a Salesman addresses loss of identity and a man's inability to accept change within himself and society. The play is a montage of memories, dreams, confrontations, and arguments, all of which make up the last 24 hours of Willie Loman's life. He has been a failure as a father and a husband with his sons, Happy and Beef, not being successful in their own right. Then, so the characters of this play, Willie Loman. Willie Loman, an aging salesman, he suffers from depression and anxiety as he result of his dissipating career, his estranged relationship with his oldest son, Beef, and his guilt over an extramarital affair. Lenda Loman, Willie Loman's wife, she is Willie's champion and takes it upon herself to reconcile her family. Beef Loman, the Loman's older son, Beef has been estranged from Willie for over 15 years, during which time he has not been able to find a steady job. Then Happy Loman, the Loman's younger son, Happy is a womanizer driven by his sexuality. Then Uncle Ben, Will's older brother, he made a fortune in the African jungle by the time he was 21 years old. So the major events is Willie Loman's struggle. So the play begins with Willie Loman, an aging salesman, struggling with his career and feeling increasingly disillusioned with his life. Then next is flashbacks and memories. Throughout the play, there are flashbacks and memories that reveal Willie's past, including his affair and his strained relationship with his sons Viv and Happy. The next is Willie's mental decline. Willie's mental state deteriorates as he becomes more fixated on the past and his perceived failures, leading to erratic behavior and delusion. So when he reminisced his past, it caused the it caused the mental state deteriorates of Willis. The next is Beef revelation. Beef, Will's elder son, confront his father about his own failures and the false image Willie has projected onto him, leading to a moment of truth and self-realization. So this Beef revelation is also this is also past, and this is happened in the past. Then Will's suicide in the climactic scene, Willie bitter and broken, his illusion shattered, commits suicide, which served as the tragic conclusion of the play. So when he reminiscing those memories, those his situation in the past, it leads to um a Willie commits suicide, which served as the tragic conclusion of the play. So setting, Brooklyn, New York City. The POV or the point of view is third person point of view, focusing on the experiences and perspective of Willie Loman, an aging salesman and his family. Then the conflict is man versus man. Willie has to struggle, focuses against the cutthroat, materialistic American society. He struggles even more because of his uh, preconceived notion of success in American society, which states the people with more social skills have more financial success. Then man versus man throughout the play, Willie struggles with Beef as he tries to improve their relationship. He and Beef go through serious ups and downs in the relationship that through a heated argument finally work itself into a positive and loving relationship. Figures of speech is hyperbole. When he says, I am tired to death. Then, metonymy. When he says, the car keeps going onto the shoulder. Style of the author, mythic figures and allegory. The play incorporates mythic figures and allegory to present the main idea of how a person non-adaptive nature creates trouble themselves and their loved ones. Then quotable statements. I'm gonna show you and everybody else that Willy Loman did not die in vain. He had a good dream. It's the only dream you can have to come out number one blind. So themes is the American Dream. The play explore the concept of the American Dream and its impact on individuals, particularly Willie Loman, who believes in the promise of the American Dream but struggles to achieve it. So when we say the American Dream is the ideal that every citizen of the United States should have an equal opportunity to achieve success and prosperity through hard work and determination. So maybe the one of the reason is the American dreams that Willie Loman is trying to achieve, but he didn't achieve this. In identity and self-worth, the play addresses the loss of identity and the struggle to accept change within oneself and society. Willie Loman's inability to accept his mediocrity as a salesman and his pursuit of success contribute to his play psychological decline. Then cultural implication. The cultural implication of Death of a Salesman are far-reaching and have transcended national and cultural boundaries. The play has been studied and performed in various countries, and its impact on different culture is evident. The play cultural impact extends beyond its theatrical or literary experiences, as it has become a defining cultural phenomenon both inside and outside Americans' borders. The character of Willie Loman has become an icon of business culture, and the play's themes have sparked discussion about the American way of life and the challenge faced by individuals in pursuit of success. Then the application of the title encapsulates the play's themes of delusionment, the human cost of the American dream, and the tragic consequences of societal pressures on individuals. So that that's all for Death of a Salesman. Thank you.